Hello, my name is Matthew Perkins, and today I'd like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. That's right, both of them. So, I want to talk about character sheets specifically. I really like the official sheets. They look super duper schmiggity. I think they're very pretty, but they're not as functional as I'd like them to be. Because I think they give a little bit too much space to stuff that I don't care about, and not enough space to the stuff that I do care about. Whenever I use the official sheets, I always end up writing in the margins or just trying to cram everything into little boxes. And there are whole other sections that I don't use at all. So I designed my own, and I designed my own 12 times. I went through 12 revisions over the last few years, and I started off very bad at using my software and wasn't very good at designing stuff. And over that time, I've gotten a little bit better, I hope. And I just want to take you through that process and how we got to where we are now, which I think is pretty good. I think we're pretty good now with the character sheets. So this is the first character sheet that I designed, and it's just for my home game. I've been playing D&D for about 2 weeks, and I've been using InDesign for 3 weeks? I don't know. It's not great. But I had a couple of ideas. I liked having a character portrait. I'm like, I'll make that really big. I'll put it up the top. And I liked the idea of having like a strip, like a little contained character card up the top there. So I kind of blocked all that stuff off. And the rest, I just kind of drew some lines. But you can see the bones here of what I ended up really wanting. I wasn't really successful solving the problems that I was trying to solve here with this one. But you can see some of the things, like I got expertise here. Expertise was there from the beginning, and it survived all 12 versions. But my main thing on this one was I thought that multi-classing would be a bigger deal, and I wanted to be able to like stack the levels that you'd take in each class, and you'd kind of, deconstruct how you got your character to where they are. In the end, that was useless. I scrapped that almost immediately. I should add that the character portrait in this picture, so that's not my player. He just found that picture and he liked it. He said it looked like somebody who would punch your dad. He was a rogue. And so he just picked this guy, and we would run around with Richard Scunthorpe. It was great. But I think that picture is actually of the New South Wales Police Commissioner or something. Like, he was on the news for some reason. Someone got murdered, and then this guy was on the telly, and then he was, fighting the Red Brands. Which in the way is a kind of policeman still. Good on you, Richard. Good on you. The second version, we added this condition tracker thing, and I didn't really keep this. It was just telling if you're blinded or you're lazy. We've got an exhaustion tracker on this one. That one stayed throughout all revisions. We've got spell trackers. This stayed for the whole time, moved around a bit, but I really like this idea. Tracking your spells by ticking off boxes. Oh, love it. On this second version, we've also dropped the bonds, flaws, and the other two. It's gone. At the time, I was completely adamant that it was just a waste of space. So version 3, we've added back in the bonds, flaws, and stuff because someone on Reddit convinced me that it's an integral part of 5th edition. And I don't know. He was smarter than me, so I let him win and I put it back in. And I kept it there. He intimidated me into changing my mind forever. On this one, I clued into the fact that the official sheets are on like a 3-column page, and I realized I could save space if I moved to a 4-column page. So whoop. And it's been great. I've stayed on a 4-column page up until my most recent edition. This version is the first time I added the physical limits section as well. So that's, you're jumping, you're starving, you're drowning, all the kind of stuff that you don't really know where to look for in the player's handbook when you really need it. And when I did put it on the sheet, I didn't think I'd use it all that often, but I use the jumping bit every session because I always need to know whether I can parkour over that crocodile or kickflip that orphanage, just everyday stuff. I also realized that I wanted to track whether you have stealth disadvantage because of your armor, because I never know, I always forget, and then I accidentally cheat because I forget. On to the next version, and I've added resistances. So if you are a tiefling and you have fire resistance, you can write fire under that section, and then you can no longer be burned. Congratulations. I also expanded the hit dice section. so that what you've got now are 20 boxes where you can write in the box, just write D6 or D8 or D12, and if you multi-class, you can have multiple kinds of hit dice, and as you use them, you just cross them off. In the middle, I've also got this huge white space, and this is kind of a catch-all for the things that you want to write there, because I prefer to write entire ability descriptions on my character sheet. I don't want to have to look up my character ability in the player's handbook at the table. I just want to be able to look at this one piece of paper. That's the whole shtick of it, actually. I wanted you to have one piece of paper when you're in combat. Just be able to look down and have everything there. Your health, your spells, your bloody hit dice, your abilities, everything. And you don't even have to flip the page, because everything combat related is on the front page. Whew. Everything else that you set and forget, like your equipment, you just add to it every now and then. Your character abilities, you're never going to go back and change a previous character ability. That's all in the back sheet. Your proficiencies, they're all back there. You don't need them. Well, you need them, but not right now. You're being stabbed. We're on to the latest version now, and the first thing you're going to notice is that I've dropped the portrait. I really like the portrait. It's fun. It's a very good role-playing kind of tool, but it just takes up too much space, and I'd rather write stuff. A critique of an older version suggested that I don't need to put the stealth disadvantage little tick box up near the armor. I could put it near the stealth skill. The guy that suggested this, he really didn't like the sheet. He ripped on it and he gave me a 2 out of 10 and some seething words that have still burned me today. But it was a good suggestion there. Sometimes when you get like a really awful critique, you've just got to pick out the useful bits. Yeah. Oh well. I've also included passive insight, and I know that's kind of just a house rule, but I use it and I like it, and I made these sheets for me primarily. I just presume that other people out there might have the same needs in a character sheet that I do. Maybe they don't, I don't know. A few changes I want to make to this most recent sheet is that I need to add some way to track DM, the inspiration, DM inspiration. Because it's just going to be like a little star or something or somewhere or something fancy. It's a fancy thing. I should have a fancy box. And I also want to go back and redo the art for each individual box. Kind of like the official sheets, because they've put so much attention to detail in the art and illustration, but I thought the layout could be better. So now I've made the layout better to something that I like, and I want to make it pretty again. Make character sheets pretty again. Next on the character sheet agenda is I want to make a whole bunch of pre-gens using my sheets and just kind of bundle them in with the character sheets that I have on DriveThruRPG. And I also want to refine the beginner sheets that I made. So I made a bunch of sheets for kids that shift the burden of math from the player to the DM. So the DM can kind of carry younger players through the session and they can still have fun without getting overwhelmed by all these stupid, confusing derivative numbers for nerds. You know what? I think that was the character sheet video. That's it. Like, this is the video. We're filming it right now, and I've made the character sheets. So we made those, and we made this, and I guess that's that. But if you want to read more about character sheets, the stuff that I've made, then you can go to my website, my blog, which is at www.matthewperkins.net. I'm also on Twitter at mperkinsdm. So I'm gonna go and have a good one. I guess I'll see you later. Bye.